here. All right, so we are getting started in our tax deed rockstar secrets. And we have Jean here. She just shared her screen. So we are excited. We're getting ready to get started on our new lesson. So where are you headed on your shared screen? Because right now what I'm looking at is your Zoom screen, which is fine. So the thing that you should share, there is a plus sign right at the top in your browser, and you can just open a new browser. Yep, if you do that.
Okay.
Okay, that's perfect. And then where would you like to go from here?
Okay, so, where's my thing? I looked up a few of the tax deed sales for this week. Remember, you said to go to the counties and see which one is coming up. So I did like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counties.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah. So remember you had said that Orange County was a little different?
That's correct.
I realized that Orange County, their tax deeds are in the controller's website.
You are correct. They are.
Okay, all righty. So I was browsing around and I started looking. I says, let me start looking like the way I see Jackie looks. I browsed around and I found it. Yeah, so they are really different from everybody.
They are really different from everyone else.
Yes.
They're the only county that has their tax deed files online outside of the clerk of court's website. They have it on a website called
in the control. Yes, so that I found. So I saved a few of them on my favorites.
Oh, perfect. So you can share with me which counties, I should say, rather.
All right, let's start with Jefferson.
Okay, perfect.
All right, okay. So I actually printed this one out because their next one is the 21st, October 21st. But it was like in a PDF format.
Right, so this is the list of the cases that are going to go to tax deed auction.
Yes, but remember some of them we were able to like click on links. This one I think I wasn't able to do that. It took me right to the PDF file.
Okay, perfect. So remember when we first started, I shared with you that some counties are online, 100% online, where you can obtain the tax deed sales information online.
Right.
You be able to obtain the information inside the individual tax deed files, and their auctions are held online. So some counties have everything online. You have other counties that do not have everything online, right? So Jefferson County, what we should do is let's go to the Jefferson County Clerk of Courts and then obtain all of the information. Because right now what we're looking at is only information for their October 21st.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go to Jefferson County Clerk of Courts. And it looks like it's still in your browser.
Yeah, it's still in my browser.
So we'll start at the homepage. I love starting at the homepage because we can find the majority of the information here. Now, of course, every clerk of courts, they're going to put the information in different locations. This one here seems to be right about
right here
on the page, right? So here's their public sales, is foreclosure sales in Jefferson County, tax deed sales in Jefferson County, lands available for taxes, for public sales, lands available, the one directly underneath it. Those are properties, those are real properties that the county now has available for the public to buy directly from the county. So these are properties that may have been sold or auctioned at the tax deeds and been turned over to the county. There wasn't any successful bidders. Nobody bid on it. So the county took possession of those properties. All right. And then the tax deed surplus, the tax deed surplus sale, that is the overages, Jean. That's the overages. So when there's a tax deed sale, how much money does the county want to collect? What is their intention to collect? What are they trying to collect?
Just the opening bid.
You're so correct. Good. Good. You got 100. I love it when my students pay attention. You're awesome. So any amount that is over and above the opening bid is considered a surplus, okay?
Right.
So this right here is a list. If you click on that link, it's going to take you to Jefferson County's surplus, which is the excess funds for any amount that was collected or bid up high, and the difference between the actual amount that they needed. So all you have to do, did you click on the surplus funds?
Wait, let me go back.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. So if you click on records department, scroll down for me one more time. Oh, we are here. So what you would do is we're on the surplus fund.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So that right there, yep, that's a hyperlink. Can you click on it? Good job. So here is the surplus funds. Here's surplus funds as of May 30th, 2019. Now, it doesn't seem like the amounts are high. There's a couple of them that are $10,000
Right.
up. So what you would have to do is, if you wanted to help, you can contact these owners, and help them with finding and locating this money. Now, you know where the money is. So what you are offering is a finder's fee. So offer a service to help them collect these funds from Jefferson County.
Right. I was thinking about this and I said, you know, with all the stuff that goes on now with, you know, people call, all the scams and all of that, and people calling people, it probably is very difficult to get, if somebody I didn't know and somebody called me up and said, oh, I can get you money because you have money here and there, I would be very skeptical.
Well, yes, and especially with the fact that their property was just auctioned. So these individuals, they have a couple of things that are happening to them, right? Number one, their property was recently auctioned by the county, so they're not really expecting to have any funds be returned back to them. They think that they're at a loss, right? Number two, their property was auctioned and they did not contest it. They didn't pay the taxes, right? So they were non-responsive. So what that means is that they really truly don't want to be found, right? Individuals that did not reply to all of the county's requests. So the county send out multiple notices.
Right.
The county sends out certified letters, bill of mail. They post a notice on the physical property itself, and they publish a notification in the legal newspaper. So the county goes above and beyond trying to find these owners and communicate with them. In addition, when there is a overage, the county also sends out a final notification that there's an overage to those owners.
Right.
So they should know, but they're not.
Right. But as you said, they don't want to be found. So how do I find them and make them want to even work with me?
Okay, great question. So this in itself is another strategy altogether. And one of the first things that you'd have to do is you'd have to skip trace these owners, right? Find out if they are alive. Some owners may be deceased. Okay. And if they're deceased, maybe they have a personal representative that's handling their estate. That's a possibility. If not, then you have to find the heirs and then communicate with the heirs or the beneficiaries of their estate. But nevertheless, the first step is to do a skip trace, meaning
Mm-hmm.
you try to find out their phone number, their email, their address.
Mm-hmm.
You may even want to attempt to find them on social media, different
Mm-hmm.
things just like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other options you have is to hire a private investigator. Now, a private investigator does add up, right? Because this is a higher cost fee.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the amount to be collected is substantial enough,
Mm-hmm.
then perhaps you may consider hiring a private investigator, someone professional that goes out and finds people, um, to notify the owner that you want to talk to them and you have some money for them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation, when you do find them, you would present yourself as a finder's service, right? A finder's service, and you have knowledge of where funds are on their behalf. And in order to assist them in acquiring those funds, you just need them to sign an authorization to allow you to help them. Okay. An authorization to allow you to help them. And on every county's site, they have a surplus affidavit form. Maybe Jefferson County has that form. They're going to tell you if you call.
Mm-hmm.
They have a surplus affidavit form that you would have to fill out. You'd also get a power of attorney, a limited power of attorney for that owner. So you can act as their attorney in fact. You can act on their behalf in representation at Jefferson County or any county whatsoever. And then you would follow whatever Jefferson County's procedures are. And then the last document that you would need is some type of agreement, right? So a written agreement between yourself and the owner, informing them that you do charge a service charge. You do charge fee for this service, and on average the fee is 30 to 40% of the funds that is collected. Okay. And that is based off of the statutes, right? The laws for that state. Okay. So each state is going to be different. Some states do put a cap, like a dollar amount for the finder's fee. And then other states have a maximum percentage that you can charge people for the fee. So in Florida, there is no cap, but anything above like 50% is considered predatory.
Right.
So you don't want to be perceived as predatory. So 30% to 40% is normal.
Okay. Okay.
So I usually tell my students that the surplus funds is a great way to supplement your overall business strategy. However, focus on what your highest priorities are, which is acquisition of the property itself.
Right.
So your first two priorities would be to either participate at the auction or contact the owner prior to the auction to see if you can negotiate a offer with them so that the property does not go to auction.
Gotcha.
And then the surplus funds is kind of like icing on the cake. You know, you can always go back to any historic auction and see if funds are available in the surplus column and attempt to contact the owner and see if you're successful in doing so.
Right. Okay.
Because you can see even the first one, the first row where it's case number 18-22-TD, the owners are Leroy Reese, care of Dwayne
J. Reese.
It's $2,989.90. Now that's a small amount. Sometimes the overage can be quite substantial. You can get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now those are the ones that people pursue very aggressively, but these small ones, people don't really waste their time because it's the same amount of effort, regardless of the amount of the surplus. But look at the date of the auction. It was August 15th in 2018. That was a long time ago. That was over a year ago. It has not been collected. Now, just so that you're also aware, Jean, is that the priority for overages in the order of like the claimant. The claimant is just another term for the persons who are eligible to submit a claim, right? So the order goes like this. Any government lien, right? Any government entity. So if there were any tax liens, and when I say tax liens, I'm talking about IRS tax liens, state tax lien, or county code enforcement, or anything like that. Any federal, state, county, or city municipal liens, right? They also have access to claim the funds too, right? If there's any outstanding government liens and there's an overage at the tax deed sale, those government bodies can claim the overage as well, before the owner even gets it, okay? The second party that can claim is if there was a mortgage on the property. So that mortgage holder, they also can claim the overage, especially if there was a mortgage and there was an amount due, then they can claim the overage and apply it to the balance that they are owed. And then if there's anything left over, the owner can get it.
Wow. Yeah. So if in the case of, let's say, even the last one here, that's 10,999. If there's a mortgage on that property, and let's say there's a mortgage of 20,000 left on there, that company that has the mortgage could come in and get this 10,000.
That is correct, because they are also eligible to claim the funds. Now, I also want to bring note to the date. Do you see where it says March 15, 2019 for the last one for Oscar Hall? And it says Oscar Hall is heirs, care of Alma Hall, okay? So for this specific one here, or any others, just because we're talking about it, it doesn't matter. In the state of Florida, there was a recent update to the statutes in regards to surplus funds. So the update states that the mortgage company or any encumbrance or lien holder, right? Or any government body that has a lien against that property, they have 120 days. They have 120 days to come and claim those funds. If they don't claim it within 120 days, then they forfeit the right to claim it in the future.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the owner can come and claim it in its entirety if it has not been claimed within 120 days. Yeah. So that was the recent update that I learned about, just last week. Yeah.
So if you see like old ones like these, that's over 120 days, those are the ones to go after.
Yes, you would want to go after the ones that are oldest first, if the amount is substantial enough, the surplus is enough that you want to attempt to find the owner and help these funds. Yes. The older, the better. So there is a statute of limitations, and statute of limitations is 36 months. So if the funds are not claimed in 36 months, then the county goes through a process called escheatment, sheet the funds, and turn it over to the state, and the state keeps it.
Right. So this one, this March 15, is over 120 days.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So Oscar Hall, care of Aloma Hall, are entitled to claim those funds. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got it.
Awesome. So that was a quick crash course into surplus, because I wanted to make sure that you understood what the options were for you and what it means to be a finder, like a surplus fee finder. Okay.
Right.
All right. Awesome. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the, I guess this is the third tab. I would do the tax deeds. Yep. Try that. Nope. You know what? Number 4. Yeah. Try that. Yep. The fourth tab. Awesome.
Mhm.
So now all I need you to do is hit your back browser button one time. Outstanding. So if you scroll down into the left column, we are going to go to tax deeds itself. Perfect. So I wanted to make note that it's extremely important from county to county that you read their frequently asked questions, okay?
Okay.
So although every county is going to follow Florida Statute 197 because that is the state's laws, how they prepare and handle and manage the auction will change from county to county because they have the authority to do so. Okay, so this is where we're going to confirm if the tax deed sale is online, where do they keep the tax deed files, if it's a physical auction, meaning you have to physically go to the clerk of court's location, wherever the auction is being held in order to participate. Plus, they'll also share with you how to register for the county, all right? How to register so that you can actually be a bidder. So it says, what is a tax deed sale? Well, that's pretty cool. We know what that is. We know the answer to that. When and where are these tax deed sales held? Let's take a look. The tax deed sales are set by the courts. For a complete list of sales, please click the link at the end of this page. So they're going to tell you when the sale is. Where can I obtain information about upcoming sales? All right, look at this. They're also telling you the periodical or the newspaper that they're publishing their auctions in. It says the tax deed sales are advertised in the Monticello News once a week for 4 consecutive weeks. You can purchase copies of the legal ads or other paperwork from the clerk's office at a cost of $1 per page. Upcoming sales are also listed in the clerk's website. How cool is that? They just tell you. All right. So what liens or encumbrances survive against a property after it's sold at a tax deed sale? Well, you and I both have discussed this more than one time.
Right.
But governmental liens survive the issuance of the tax deed and are satisfied to the fullest extent possible with any overbid monies from the sale. Oh my gosh, who just told you that?
The clerk.
Right. So it's the same thing that we have been discussing, right? So the governmental liens that survive any issuance of a tax deed, they have the first right to claim the overbid monies if there are any, okay?
Right.
So governmental liens not satisfied in full survive the issuance of the tax deed and will still remain against the property. The clerk's office assumes no responsibility for any encumbrances on any property offered for sale. It is in your best interest to have a title search done by an attorney or title company. However, you may search the official records when considering tax deed properties. Please be advised that all properties are sold buyer beware. So that is what our lesson actually is today. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do your own title search by searching through the official records search. Cool. Because what you are most concerned about when you are participating and decide to be a bidder in the tax deed sales is whatever property you're bidding on, you want to know if there are any government liens that may survive the sale. That's your whole thing. That's all you want to know. You want to know, are there any government liens that will survive the sale? How much are they if they do exist? Okay. Don't be afraid of them. You just want to know how much are they, right? What's the total of these outstanding liens? Okay. And you also want to know, can I negotiate these off? Can I get these satisfied in a way that allows me to obtain marketable title for my tax deed? So some government liens that can be negotiated are especially the code enforcement liens. You want to read if there are any when we find them in official records. You want to identify what the code enforcement infraction was issued, like what was the problem. Sometimes it is cutting the grass. You know, sometimes it's this building has not been painted and it's causing blight in the neighborhood. You know, it's unsightly. So if you are the investor and your intent is to renovate this property, then you can always go to the county and say, hey, I'm the new owner of this property, and my intent is a full renovation to bring this property back to its original glory, its original state. And I'm asking if you can reduce or cancel this lien. And they normally do, because it wasn't necessarily about the penalty, right? Which is the code enforcement. It was about the curing the problem.
Right.
That's
the
what
parents of the property.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's scroll down a little bit before we continue. It says, can the property owner stop the property from being sold for taxes? The property owner or mortgage holder can redeem the property from the tax deed sale by paying the amounts owed to the tax collector or the clerk, right? As long as the funds are paid, then it redeems the property and takes it off the list for it to be sold for its fees that are due. So when you exercise the strategy of contacting the owner, one of the first things you want to do is, hey, I'll help you redeem these taxes. Have you considered selling your property? You know, have you considered selling? But before you pay the taxes for them, right? Because the county is always going to collect. But before you pay the taxes for them, you want them to commit to an actual agreement with you. And when I say them, the owners commit to a purchase and sales agreement, or they sign a warranty deed, and then you go pay the taxes, okay? All right. Who do I need to do, or what do I need to do if I am the successful bidder at the sale? All right. So this is how they're going to tell you their rules. All right. So according to the office's policy, you are asked to remain until the auction is complete and accompany the deputy clerk to the clerk's office. You will be advised of the total amount due, which will include your bid amount and the fees to record the tax deed. If payment in full is not made at the time of the sale, you are required to post a 5% or $200, whichever is greater, non-refundable deposit to be applied to the sale price at the time of full payment. Payment in full must be made 24 hours, within 24 hours. If the deposit is not paid, then the bidding on that parcel will begin again at the base bid. Now, if you read here, what they're actually saying here, this is a physical auction. You need to be present. You need to be physically present at this auction, okay? So this is not a county that hosts their tax deed auction sale online. You physically have to be at the clerk of courts for Jefferson County, okay? And once you are the successful bidder, your deposit amount is going to be 5% of your high bid for that parcel, or $200, whichever one is greater. And then you have 24 hours to come back and pay the difference. Okay? And it's really important for you to note this, because this is where those different nuances, those differences from county to county. Some counties want you to have the money right away, which is fine, that's normal. But some counties may say, hey, I'm not giving you 24 hours. I'm giving you close of business the same day. Or I'm giving you until noon the next day, or until 3 p.m. the following day. You must know what those counties' office policies are in order for you to be successful in that county. Okay, so the next paragraph is also what you and I have been discussing before. Like, what if the person doesn't pay? What if the investor doesn't pay? Okay, the clerk has the right to ban or refuse your future bids and not honor your participation as a bidder. Okay,
in any other bids?
Yeah, in any future bids. So if you are a successful bidder and you're taken by the deputy clerk's office and it's time for you to pay your 5% or $200, whichever one is greater, and you don't have the money, then you possibly, could be blacklisted, if you will. Okay.
From that county.
For that county, yes.
Oh my God.
So say, for example, you did pay the 5% and $200, whichever one is greater, but you did not return after the 24 hours. The 24 hours came and went, and you did not go back to pay the balance. This is what they're talking about here. All right. Okay. So section 197.542. Yeah, looks like subparagraph 2, right? Florida statute states the clerk may refuse to recognize the bid of any person who has previously bid and refused for any reason to honor such bid. If full payment is not received, it will be re-advertised and placed up for sale at the next scheduled sale.
Wow.
Yeah. So they can refuse you from future participation.
Right, right.
And again, the clerk is going to explain to you that you do not get clear title with a tax deed. You are deeded the property. It is a deed. You are the new owner of that property. But you do not have marketable title.
Right.
Okay? You must actually go to a title insurance company or do a quiet title lawsuit or a title certification process in order to get marketable title. Okay. Which is an additional expense that is going to be included in your exit strategy, like how you plan to manage that property. Okay. What are some things I should know before the sale? Well, in order to participate in the bidding process, one must arrive a few minutes prior to 11 a.m. Boom. Now they're telling you what time you need to get there. So their auction is at 11 a.m., right? You or your representative must physically be present at the time in order to bid on the property. It is highly recommended that you research the properties prior to the sale day in order to understand what you are purchasing at the sale, which is what you and I are doing right now, right? I'm teaching you how to do your research before you go to the actual auction. So let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Yep. As the successful bidder is a person entitled to immediate possession of the property after issuance of the tax deed. Oh my word. Remember when I told you that you were entitled to immediate possession? All right, here we go. Here's the Florida laws that support that. So section 197.562 Florida statute states any person, firm, corporation, or county that is the grantee of any tax deed under this law shall be entitled to the immediate possession of lands described in the deed. Oh my goodness, Jean.
But, okay, so why am I so confused? Because up here it says that you don't get clear title.
That's correct. That has nothing to do with you owning the property or having.
Oh, got you.
Yes.
Okay.
You can own a property that does not have clear title.
Clear title. Okay, got you.
Yep. And then Florida statute 197.562 gives you the right, the new tax deed owner, to immediate, you see that? Immediate possession of the lands described in the deed. You own it. Immediate possession. That means whether somebody living in it or not, whether it's the owner that lives in it or not, whether it's a tenant that lives in it or not, whether it's a squatter that lives in it or not, you have the right to immediate possession. It's your property, your land. Okay. That's powerful. You don't sound so excited.
No. I'm just absorbing. I'm absorbing. Yeah, I'm absorbing.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah, this is like, wow.
I have bought tax deeds and have been the successful bidder at tax deed auctions for properties that did have occupants in it. And I have. And then I would go and introduce myself and inform them that I am the new owner of this property. And I would ask them what is their intent. I mean, I'm not an investor with the intent to put anybody out on the street.
Right.
I did know that this property is in my immediate possession and they are trespassing on my land. So I can give them an opportunity to gather their stuff, their possessions, right? Their whatever is their personal property, and give them an opportunity to vacate the premises.
Or to give them time to vacate.
That's correct.
Okay,
Sometimes
gotcha.
what I've done is, because I don't have to, remember, I have the right to immediate possession. So I really don't have to. I'm not under no obligation.
Even if the person is renting?
Yes, ma'am. Even if the person is renting, they're not renting from me. They have no lease from me.
Oh my goodness. So, okay. So are you saying that, let's say for argument's sake, I'm renting a property. I don't even know that my landlord's house is going to be auctioned off. And I'm paying my rent because maybe I'm paying my rent.
Right. But I want to clarify something with you. So the reason why you would know is because the sheriff is going to post a notice in your door.
Gotcha. On the physical property.
That's right.
It's
a notification process.
So if someone's renting, for argument's sake, is renting a place and the sheriff comes up there, posts a notice on the door because this house is going to be auctioned off and you're paying your rent, would you stop paying rent?
That is a contractual agreement that you have with the owner. So there is
because you're going to be evicted.
Well, no, you're not going to be evicted. You're not going to be evicted. What you are at risk for is not having a place to stay, right?
Exactly.
Property goes to auction and it sells, and now it's somebody else. You're not evicted. An eviction is an actual legal suit, right?
I see. Gotcha. The difference. Okay.
Right. Where they get a judgment against them, the court. You have to leave.
But you are at risk of not having a place to live.
Not having a place to live, right? So the owner is receiving notices. Remember, the county goes to great lengths to send these notices, right? So the owner is receiving notices or is being sent notices by the county that the property is going to be auctioned. There is the legal notification or the legal ad in the newspaper. Plus, the county also serves the property physically. Okay. They serve the property physically. All right. So they actually share all of this information.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So down at the bottom, you see, well, before you click there, I want to bring to your attention this last paragraph where it says, where can I obtain information regarding the sale of tax certificate? So tax certificate information can be obtained from the tax collectors. Now, remember I shared with you that tax certificate auction is handled by what department of the county? The tax collector.
Tax collector. Okay. Right. Yeah.
And tax deed sale is handled by what?
The clerk, the county clerk.
You're perfect. You are absolutely correct.
Right.
So the tax collector manages the tax certificate auction. And here is their contact information. They have their phone number there. And what you can contact them for is a list of delinquent real estate taxes in that county. Or you can contact them for any over-the-counter certificates, which is basically any tax lien certificate that did not sell at the auction. They over-the-counter certificates, and you can actually purchase them directly from the tax collector's office, okay? And then once you have those tax liens, a lien is placed on that parcel, that property. And then, of course, you have to wait through the redemption period and then apply for a
tax deed
application with the tax collector. And then that information is forwarded over to the county clerk, and the county clerk office is the one that pursues the notification process. They pursue the notification process, they start that, and they also perform the due diligence, right? They're the ones that order the title search, the ownership report, all that stuff, okay?
Gotcha.
Yep. So when you click on this link here that says view current tax deed sales, should just bring us to the list that you had before. Can you click on
that? Right. That's where I went. Right.
So on October 21st, these are the parcels that are going for auction. So what this means to you is that Jefferson County, their tax deed file, the collection of documents that the clerk of courts is housing is available to the public viewing in physical format, just not online.
Right,
So
right.
that's why you can't click on anything here. It's only the actual, it's only just a list of what's coming due.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is. So I wanted to walk you through that so you knew the why behind what you were looking at.
Got you.
Yeah. So when are we going to Jefferson County?
Oh my goodness. Where the heck is Jefferson County down?
Let's pull up your map.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Oh no, hit your plus button. Hit your plus button at the end and just open a new browser.
Okay.
Tab for your browser.
Oh, here. Okay.
Perfect. So in your search browser, just put State of Florida County map for me. Yep, Florida. Perfect. Keep going.
Oh.
Almost done. Yep.
Oh, no, I made a mistake. Hold on. Wow. Back, sorry. County map.
That's correct.
This one.
Perfect. So let's click on images for me, or you know what? This first one is perfect. Yeah, click on that for me. All right, perfect. So now we have a image of the state of Florida, right? A map of Florida. And then it has all of the counties here. So
okay.
Jefferson County. It had 850. So 850 is kind of like the northern side, the north side of the state. So I'm thinking that it is somewhere in the panhandle.
Right up in here.
Yeah, let's start at the end.
Right here. I see it. Jefferson.
Perfect. There it is. Right between Leon County.
Leon and Madison.
And there goes Monticello. There it is. How cool is that? So there's Jefferson. So we're in Central Florida. So that's quite a ways away.
It's quite a ways away.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'd have a nice little ride out there and go check out what's good. So we would do our due diligence before, we go, and then look at when we're there. So our due diligence would begin with actually cross-referencing each parcel to identify what type of property it is, property, and then identifying the owner's name and cross-referencing in the owner's name in the official records using the owner's name if there are any government liens that may
actually, when I start doing this physically, I kind of want to start in Orange.
Why?
Because I live here.
And
so I will be able to go and see the property.
So Orange County, you're limited to Orange County only?
No, I'm not. I mean starting.
Okay.
Getting my feet wet then.
All right. So I am going to encourage you to explore the possibilities of any county. Because the name of the game here is I need a property. It don't matter where the property at.
Okay. but I mean, how the heck am I getting up to Jefferson County?
I agree. I'm not saying that Jefferson County is close or you should go to Jefferson County, but look at surrounding Orange County. So Orange County is one of 67. Okay.
Right.
So you have Brevard, you have Osceola, you have Polk, you have Lake, you have Seminole, you got Volusia. All of those counties are 45 minutes in any direction.
Exactly. So I'm okay with those.
Okay, good. So earlier you said, Orange County. So I just want you to know that Orange County, because it's a densely populated area, what you have is a lot of investors looking at the same thing.
Got you.
And very similar to what you mentioned, which is, you alluded to the fact like, wow, that's far. Guess what people are thinking too?
That is far.
Exactly.
Yes. So, okay.
So there is
Okay.
advantage to
Mm-hmm.
going outside of your own county, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you live in a major metropolitan area.
Which is Orange County.
Quite so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, quite so.
Mm-hmm.
So just something to consider, right? Because there's
Yes.
opportunities
Mm-hmm.
all across the nation, and
Mm-hmm.
in our state alone, state of Florida,
Mm-hmm.
67 counties. So there are 66 other opportunities outside of
Mm-hmm.
Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Osceola is Kissimmee.
Well, Kissimmee is in Osceola, but
Is
there are
in yes, Kissimmee is in. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Okay. Okay. So we have Seminole Lake, as you said, Volusia. Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And what cities are in Volusia? What municipalities?
Volusia.
Yeah.
There's DeLand right here
Uh-huh. And Daytona Beach,
in Daytona Beach.
Armand Beach, Holly Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of places in DeLand.
Quite a lot of places up
Yeah,
here.
De Leon Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So the more you get out, the more you realize that, wow, there's a big, wide world out there.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's also in Seminole, there's Sanford.
Right. So Sanford is one
Mm-hmm.
of like 10 cities in Seminole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in Seminole County, you have, I believe it's Geneva, Sanford,
Mm-hmm.
I think Osteen,
Yeah.
Lake Mary,
Mm.
Good.
Lake Mary, for some reason, when I go there, it's like a very affluent place.
Yes, it is. It is.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's may not be any tax deeds in Lake Mary, but if there are any tax deeds that happen to come up in that's located in the city of Lake Mary, then that's one of the ones that you should be interested in because it's a
Yeah,
well
it
sought
is.
after.
It's a wealthy community. Yes.
It's
Okay.
pretty affluent, high income community.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Seminole County, just FYI, is also a county that does not hold their tax deed sales online either. You physically
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to go to a physical tax lien.
Yeah, so let's go to Seminole County
Okay.
because that's the closest one to you.
Yes.
Bard is online, Osceola is online, Lake
Mm-hmm.
and Rouge is also online, and I believe Polk County is online. So
Okay.
Seminole is the only one that is like still offline, but
Mm-hmm.
within driving commuting distance. Also
Yeah.
online.
Yeah. I'd like to experience that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's do our title search for at least one. All right.
Okay.
Let's go to the tax deed sale itself, which is the first. Yeah.
This one?
No, that's your surplus. You can actually close out of that one. You can
Okay.
because we don't need that.
Uh-huh.
And you can click that one. Oh,
Click
actually,
this one.
you can
I
close.
can close out that. Mm-hmm. This
And
one.
yep, both of those are the same thing, by the way. You have two that are open to be
Oh,
the same.
I have two that's open here. This one.
Yeah, but you can leave it. It's fine.
Okay.
All right, no problem. So the first thing that you want to do, I want you to copy the copy or use your mouse and do a right
Mm-hmm.
click and copy the parcel ID number of any property.
Of
Anyone.
any property. Okay.
You can do the first one, the one that you're hovering over right now.
Which is this one, which says property ID number.
Yes. So property
Okay.
ID, parcel ID, PID, all of those things are pretty much the same. So
You click off.
right. Yeah, just go backwards. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right click and copy. Second.
Copy.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So then now we're going to go to the Jefferson County Property Appraisers website.
Do I have that open?
You do not have it open. No.
Okay, it's in my favorites. Oh no, I don't. I think that's the one that I had. Did I?
You have Jefferson County.
No, I don't have it.
Jefferson County, but where should your default be? Remember, we talked about Net R Online. I mean, if you
Yes.
do anything about any of the counties in any state, You can always go to NetR Online.
Right.
Public record search.
Because I have NetR Online in
Yeah.
my.
All right, so click that there.
Yeah.
Good job. Outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to go to public record search.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. We're going to click on the state of Florida. And we know what Florida looks like, so we're just going to go straight to it.
Little. We're going to go to Jefferson.
There you go. All right. So now we're going to go to the property appraiser's website. So just click on that link there. Great. You're doing great. Excellent. I want you to acknowledge the disclaimer and agree. And close. Perfect. So we're going to search by the parcel ID number. So do you see right there?
Right here.
Yep. Right click again and hit paste for me.
Other Control B.
Yeah. And now we're going to hit
search.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. This is awesome. So right up at the parcel summary, which is the first section, section, we can confirm the location, the address. It'll tell us right exactly what it is. The property use code is what? Vacant.
Yes.
It's considered vacant land, right? Right. So there's no structure on this land.
Right.
And then look at the owner information. It is Davis Matilda heirs. The heirs of Davis Matilda. Do you see on the second section, right underneath?
Oh, underneath. Yes.
So it looks like Miss Matilda Davis may be deceased.
Yes.
The heirs. Care of Enos Ellis, Canton, Ohio. So this owner may be deceased and they have a representative. The address, the mailing address is in Canton, Ohio. You see that? If you take a scroll down, take a look at this one. Look at this. How cool is that? How many acres is this land? Go all the way across.
2. No.
Wow, 2 whole acres. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I personally am not a vacant land investor, which is okay. Some people are, but I'm not. I like
me neither.
Yeah, I like to have a structure on it, right?
Yes.
But for the purpose of this training, property's usage really doesn't matter because
it's the same thing.
Yeah, the process is always going to be the same. So I want you to first verify what type of property it is. Okay, that's what we're doing right now.
Yes.
All right. Now, what some people will do, they'll say, okay, well, this is not the type of property that I want to bid on anyway, so I won't continue to do any additional research. I won't even waste my time. I won't even use my time this way because I'm not going to bid on this property. I'm not interested. It doesn't fit my area. It doesn't have a house on it. And that's cool. And that's fine. In the event that that's what you choose, then you just move on to the next one. Does that make sense? All right.
Makes sense.
So let's go back to the actual sale is the actual list of the properties. I think what happened is that you use this browser where the 14 lists was to start this one, which is fine.
Oh,
that's okay. So all we have to do is just open up another browser again. And go back and get the list. That's okay. It's in your favorites. So if you want to click on your bookmarks, you can just easily go straight to it. Do you see where it says tax deed Jefferson County? It's the fourth one.
Yes, this is it.
I'm remembering your own screen. How about that?
I know.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do it again with the next one down. Let's copy this ID. I'm looking for a house. Awesome. Let's go 3, 4. Fourth one over. Yes, that one.
Okay.
Let's go back to search.
Oh.
You can just click search in the top browser. In the top menu, you see where it says search? You have report.
Oh, search. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So let's paste the parcel number,
Mm-hmm.
the new parcel number that you just copied.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
perfect. And now we're going to hit search. Great job, Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap, Jean. What do you see under the property use code?
Property useful. Single family.
Oh, yes. I was waiting for you to see it. All
Single
right.
family. Okie dokie.
Yeah. Yeah. And the primary owner is Sylvester Stewart Estate,
Mm-hmm.
ETAL, care of Suzette Paris Manual, and then they have a little box, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this owner may be deceased as well.
Mm.
Really, really don't know, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a possibility. So since we know that it is a single family property, let's scroll down to the bottom of it. Let's look at the land information.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is a single family residence on 5 acres of land.
5 acres of land.
Oh my word.
Wow.
I know. What is under the building information, I'll give you a hint. What is the total square foot where it says heated area? What is the square feet of this property?
Heated.
Yep, you'll see it's in the first column right underneath where it says building information. Building information. Go over one. There you go.
Okay, 1,183.
Good job. Good job, Miss
Oh my
Jean.
goodness.
So it's a single family residence property. It's 1,830. No, 1,183, excuse me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
square feet. What year was this structure built? Okay.
This was built 1961.
Good job. How many bedrooms? How many
2
bathrooms?
bedrooms, 1 bathroom.
Good job. Good job. Looks like it have a second structure on it. How cool. Look down at the bottom. It says single family. Again, it looks like it has another area, which is another 660 square feet. Do you see that?
Yes.
It
Wow.
looks like it was built in 1950
Mm-hmm.
as 1 bedroom.
One half a bathroom.
Yeah, so there's like 2 structures on this property.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? All right, well, this is something I'd be interested in. Not with you.
Yeah.
You don't got to live there.
Mm-mm.
Have nothing to do with your personal preference. It's an investment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And it was like what, 5,000 something?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was. The opening
Wow.
bid was 5,000.
Opening bid was 5,000.
If you click back on your last tab, that's where the sales information is for the tax deed. So scroll, use your mouse and go to the last tab in your browser, all the way to the end.
This one?
Yes, ma'am. All right, perfect. So the opening bid was 5,000.
Yes, 531.16.
All right. So what we're going to do is now we are going to do our public record search for Sylvester Stewart or Stewart Sylvester. I want you to copy the owner's name for me, please. Same thing how you copied the parcel ID. I want you to copy the owner's name. Not the et al part, just the name.
Okay, just the name.
Yeah, just the basic, just the name. Perfect. So now we're going to go to the official record search for Jefferson County. The official record search for Jefferson County. If you'd like, you can go back to NetR Online. Yeah, and just go, And then let's go to the first link where it says Jefferson County. Should take us directly to the official record search. All right, we're here. Woohoo!
Wow.
Yep. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to paste. Right click, paste. Yeah.
Okay.
But it wants last name, first name. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Stewart is his first name. So back out Stewart. Or maybe Sylvester is his first name.
I think Sylvester's his first name.
All right. So leave Stewart there
Mm-hmm.
and move your cursor. Yep. And then put, well, you have Sylvester Stewart. So it's going to be last name, then first name. So it should say Stewart.
Stuart Sylvester.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what we're going to do, it says county. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just click on Jefferson. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll down. And we don't know, we're not going to touch anything because what we want is we want to see all of the results for Sylvester Stewart. So scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not exactly the official record search, but we'll see. Because it just says myfloridacounty.com, which is an interesting site. I've never seen this one. But click the search button.
Click in the search button?
Yep.
Okay.
Bam. Here we go. So now we're going to scroll down. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for judgments, liens, government liens. So we don't know Stewart's middle initial. So this one is for a Stewart F, which is fine. But that was back in 1972. So that judgment is not really like relevant.
Right.
Keep going. Affidavit, deed.
Here's a Sylvester.
Yeah.
Another one.
Affidavit, probate document. Keep going. Death certificate. There's a couple of these Stewart Sylvesters are interesting. In Jefferson County. There's a lot of them in there. I think state of Florida. What's this? Okay, so you share with me. Do you see in the fourth column where it tells you the document type? Do you see anything that says lien?
Lien. Judgment. No lien.
No lien.
No.
Nope. Now we could click on the continue button. It says 16 items found displaying all items on one page. But if there was multiple pages, then you would want to click to the next page just to confirm, right? But we just did a quick lien
search.
Yeah, like a title search. Because whenever you do a title searches are what they're looking for, what you're paying the title company to do is identify any outstanding liens or judgments or any persons, encumbrances that may hinder you obtaining marketable title. But when we're looking at tax deeds, what we're really just looking for is any government
liens
that may survive the sale that has been attached to the person who owns that property.
Right.
And it doesn't mean person. Sometimes it's an entity. Because if it was, 123 Main Street LLC, we would be doing the same thing. We would 123 Main Street LLC has any government liens that was issued to them and may have attached to the property because it may have a sale. Great. So guess what? This one is actually a great candidate.
Has no liens.
Has no government liens that would survive the sale. Even if there was multiple judgments, those judgments do not survive the tax deed sale. Even if there were mortgages, those mortgages do not survive the tax deed sale.
Right.
The only liens that survive the tax deed sales is government liens, and that's federal, state, county, city municipal liens.
Okay. Now, let's say I wanted to own this property. And actually you shouldn't really bid on a property unless you've seen it, right? Is that so?
Good job. So this is only a small portion of our due diligence, okay?
Right. So
this is the beginning of our due diligence. The first one we want to do is what type of property is it? Does this property fit my buying criteria? Okay. It's 5 acre single family residence on 5 acres. Okay. Well, that could fit my buying criteria, right?
Got you.
Now let me look and see if there are any liens that I need to be aware of that may
Right.
fail. All right. That's step 2. Step 3. Now we are going to go and take a look at this property. Let's find out what it is. So now that we know the address is available to us on the property appraiser's website, isn't it? So we can Google the address and do like a Google Street Map or Google Earth View. We can try to see if there's any images available on Zillow or any of those public sites. And then if you can't find any information about the property, then one of the other options you have is to just hire someone to go look at it. Or maybe you call up a local real estate agent that's in that area and you let them know that your intention is to buy that property and you're looking for a possible listing agent. Would they drive past the property and just take a picture of it and send it to you? You could do that.
And but for a fee?
No, you only there's only a fee if you mention
if you offer it.
Yes. What you bringing up fees for? Oh, what you bringing up money for? Only they ask about money.
Okay.
Yeah. But if there is a fee, sometimes it's just $20, $30.
Yeah.
Okay. And look, and maybe there are multiple properties in Jefferson County, so you can give them the addresses of all of them and ask them to go take a look. You can even hire someone on Craigslist, someone, who's just looking for something simple to do.
Yes.
Hire somebody on Craigslist
to go out and see if there's right.
If a building is still there, right? If a structure is still there, and then you need to have pictures and see what the condition is of it, because you can't get inside, but at least you want to know what's.
Wow.
So you found one.
I like this.
You do. Good.
I mean, the process, like I never thought the process would be like this.
Yes.
Yes, but this due diligence is great.
Yes, it is. All of the work with tax deeds is done prior to the sale.
Yes.
And even the county tells you too. They say, hey, buyers beware, do your research.
Yeah. Or what is this thing over here that says view image?
Yeah, click it. Can't break it. It's going to be the image of the document that has been scanned.
I see. Got you.
There it is.
Okay.
How good.
Yep. Got you.
I heard the epiphany.
Yeah, you heard that. Wow. This lesson I'm going to go over again.
Outstanding. I want you to.
Yes.
So I know that we have been with each other a little bit over an hour, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. We can continue on our next lesson, but we're going to pick up where we left off.
Okay. We're going to finish up our due diligence.
Yes, well, for this property, we've pretty much.
We did. Yeah.
So what we do from this point forward is just get the address and determine the condition of the property. We would determine the condition of the property, and then we would also determine the value of the property, like the street value, the market value.
Yes.
By looking up properties that have sold near this property.
Near there. Yeah.
And deciding like, oh, okay, well, I can buy this for $5,100. Successful bidder. And this property is worth like $30,000, $35,000. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for.
Okay. Let's see it.
Yeah, you see it?
Yes. Yes. I see it.
Perfect. And you know who's also really, really well versed at finding values? Your daughter, because I taught her how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, she's good.
Yes.
She's really good at it.
Yes.
But I'll be going over that with you our next time as well, so that you can get comfortable with going over values.
Okay, values. Okay.
Awesome. Do you have any questions? I know I We went through a lot today, but
We did. I'm telling you, we looked like about 4 screens, but there was a lot. Packed, jam-packed hour. I can't, I mean, I'm at this computer every day. I'm like, Jackie is gonna blow my mind. I keep going back and forth. I'm like, what's it? And I don't stop until I get it.
That's so good. I'm so happy
Yes.
for you. I want you to get it because this is a skill. Once
I
you
love it.
and you understand this, it
Yes.
doesn't matter what state you're in.
Yes.
Does that make sense? You can go
It
anywhere in
does.
the country
Yes.
and be able to find the opportunities that are hidden,
Mm-hmm.
these wonderful, amazing diamonds that are hidden right in plain sight and nobody knows.
Nobody knows, right? I'm going to be looking at a few of the counties that are closer to me
Yeah.
within the week, so that when I meet with you next time, I can show you a few things if I find something.
All right. So you're assigning your own homework this week?
This is what I'd like to do, but
Okay.
in addition to whatever you want me to do, I got the time.
Well, that's all right. I think that's appropriate. You can go and continue your research. I
Yes.
want you to identify some auctions in the surrounding counties
Yes.
that you live in, and identify properties that you want to do additional research on, and then we can go deeper on those properties.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, wonderful. You have an awesome and amazing, blessed week, and I look forward to speaking with you next week, Tuesday.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you too, Miss Jean. Talk to you
Okay.
soon.
Have a safe one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.